All right, we're doing another like travel type video here from Wolters World. The don'ts of visiting El Salvador. Now, before this, Dan, a couple weeks ago, I was just kind of talking about my travel plans for the future, and you were very like bullish on El Salvador.
Well,
So
I feel like El Salvador, my whole life has been painted in a bad picture because of the unrest, the civil unrest, with the the gang activity in El Salvador. But recently, it's like an up and coming or up and got here country when it comes to knocking down the crime rates and stuff. Like
yeah,
it's the power shifted and it's becoming safe. Um, and so I was just like, you know what? It hasn't really been done. I've spent 16 hours at the El Salvadorian airport because of a layover, right?
okay,
Um, and yeah, I don't know. I always been wanting to go, but never. It wasn't safe when I was around that area.
got it, got it. But
So, but
now that they've put
it's
everybody in prison,
pretty much.
uh, it's more safe now. So
Yeah,
hopefully, we'll see what Wolters got to say about it, and kind of hopefully the
yeah,
comment section will either confirm or deny all
yeah.
this stuff.
I think
So
yeah, for sure, man.
yeah, ready?
Yeah, let's go in.
3, 2, 1.
Hey there, fellow travelers! Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're on one of the beautiful beaches here in El Salvador. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting El Salvador. And before I get to that safety stuff and all those kind of things, there's one true don't I have for you when you come to El Salvador, and that is don't eat your pupusas like they're tacos. You don't know what a pupusa is. Pupusa is the Salvadorian food, okay? It's either made with rice flour or corn flour, tortillas, and in between it'll be tortilla and tortilla, and they'll put stuff in the middle. Maybe it'll be beans and cheese, cheese and chicken, cheese and chicharrones, garlic. There's so many different things, and there's veggies you never heard of. They put in there, and then they cook it on a flat top. Oh my God, they're fantastic. But the thing is, when they come, a lot of people think they look like taco shells, and I'll just put that cabbage and salsa stuff in there, make a taco, and eat it like that. No, 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 no. I'll throw you out of the pupusaria myself if I see you doing that, okay? What you do is you tear a bit off of your pupusa, and then what you do is you like pinch it and you pick up the cabbage and the salsa together and eat it that way. That's the way you eat it, okay? So make sure you're eating it right, because you're gonna definitely have pupusas when you are here. Now, another don't for the
Okay. Don't eat your pupusa like a taco.
Yeah. You're not in Mexico. It's not a
Right,
taco, or else I would have called it tacos.
right. It's El Salvador, and to all Americans watching, El Salvador is not Mexico.
Yes. What?
Get it right.
Like, well, I went to El Salvador. What part of Mexico is that? You know what I mean?
Ugh.
But hey. So the pupusa they treat like a utensil.
Yeah,
They use
yeah,
that as the fork. So there you go.
yeah. They don't treat it like a hamburger bun.
Yep.
pupusas, I will say is don't eat it with a fork and knife. Guaranteeing giveaway you're not from around here, but also guaranteeing giveaway that you don't know how to eat your pupusas. Use your hands, my friend. Use your hands, okay?
All right.
Now, let's get to some more serious stuff. My next don't for you is don't think that El Salvador is too dangerous to visit. I know a couple years ago, El Salvador was ranked as the murder capital of the world. What you have to realize as a tourist, the murders, this is mostly gang-on-gang violence, which is horrible. And the thing is, though, the tourist areas, for the most part, have been untouched by this, or very little touched by it, let's say that. And so for tourists, you don't really feel the murder capital of the world, but where I'm having a good time and meeting these wonderful, nice people and eating these pupusas and see these Mayan sites and great beaches, I don't see the violence that is here, but don't think that's going to be where you're going to be, okay? So don't think that El Salvador is too dangerous to visit. We're here together as our family, enjoying ourselves, having a wonderful time, meeting the locals, eating the food. Oh my goodness, the sights. It's been a really great visit to a really kind of small, compact country. Now the thing is, though, my next don't for you is
Okay, so this is what you were saying before, how like the tourist areas, most of you don't see the crime,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Oh, well, think about this. It's like the countries need the tourist industry,
right,
so they will prop those areas up with either a police force or higher security force just to make sure that, hey, listen, protect the people that are spending their money here more.
Yeah,
So yeah, but how old is this video?
it's 3 years old.
Okay, yeah, so a lot has changed. It's
Okay,
gotten better than what he's experiencing. So that's great news.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Don't take your safety lackadaisically when you are here. I mean, there still are issues. This is not like going to Disney World kind of stuff. There are things, but most of the time you're looking at in San Salvador, the bigger cities, there's neighborhoods that are controlled by the gangs. That's where you're not going to go. And as a tourist, you're not going to go there anyway. Okay, so have a heads up for that. But use your usual common tourist sense. You don't go to the riot part of towns. You're not going out late night, okay? If you are going to go out late night, especially in the big cities, take a taxi home, okay? If you're in a place like Suchitoto, like a colonial town, you can probably walk home at night, it'll be okay. I mean, after dinner kind of stuff, I'm not saying 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, remember, after midnight, your mom would say, nothing good happens after midnight. Well, that's anywhere in the world, okay? But you do need to be careful with that. Probably for tourists, there's two kind of safety things I want to make sure you know. One, you're going to be taking buses when you are here, and they're usually old US school buses that have been repainted. And your bags. Make sure you keep your bags with you. If you can't, you got to put it above or below. Make sure you're paying attention at all the stops to make sure they don't accidentally walk off, just so you have a heads up for that. Now, my next stone for you is off to a safety thing, but that has to do with this awesome beach here and the other beaches along. I think they have like 300 miles of beach here. I mean, it's amazing. It's this dark volcanic sand. It's gorgeous. But my don't it for you is this. Don't mess around with the waves. It can be very dangerous here. High tide, when the tides are really pulling things back out. Walk along the beach, don't go in the water, especially with little kids at that time. Ask your hotel, ask your accommodation. One of the times I shouldn't go to the beach, because you want to be careful. Because yeah, you'll see surfers out there in the rough sea, but they're surfers with a board, which is basically a buoy in case there's anything wrong. So do be careful with that, all right? The beaches here are great, but my next don't for you is don't just stay at the beaches, because a lot of tourists, they'll just go to El Tunco, right? That's the big tourist beach here. Believe me, there's a lot more beaches than El Tunco you can visit, and you'll have a good time. The thing is, though, there's a lot to do in El Salvador, and since it's a small country, you can really see a lot in a day or two. Just driving around or getting a driver to take you, you can go and see some of the Mayan sites. So then, it's actually lava came in, it's like the Pompeii of the Mayan Empire. You can see that where they're excavating it. You can go to San Andres, where they've only uncovered like 5 or 6% of the entire complex that's there. So hopefully we get more tourists coming here, they get more money, they can start digging up more stuff. It's really kind of cool. If you want to see what the Mayan ruins looked like when people first found them, like in the 1900s, 1800s, when we first started uncovering them, go to Casablanca, where it literally is just, you're like, wait, these are just hills covered with trees and stuff. Yes, underneath that, that's where, the temples are. So it can be a little bit of letdown, but I want to give you a heads up for that. But probably the one you really want to go to is Tazumal. And Tazumal is kind of cool because you're driving through this city and boom, there's a huge Mayan temple. Whoa, what was that? Yeah, it's pretty cool to go and check that one out when you are there. So there's the Mayan side of things. But also,
Man, that right there is awesome to know, because like an appeal of going to say like Mexico is a lot of the Mayan temples, but then again, there's also the safety part of it. Like, he's not saying that El Salvador is 100% safe, but it's a lot more safe from what I'm gathering from what you've told me and what Wolters telling me right now.
Yeah. I feel like you gotta be hyper aware when you're traveling like that in any country, of your surroundings. You just have to be hyper aware. I couldn't imagine like traveling with a kid and a wife. You'd be at a better advantage traveling solo dolo almost,
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
thinking.
you can just be aware of yourself. You don't have to be hyper aware of everything else.
Right,
Um,
right.
But yeah, no, for sure, man. I think that it's an untapped gem for tourists that doesn't get spotlighted enough, because you have the Mexican Riviera Maya like resorts and their established excursions and shit to go exploring.
Right,
El
right.
Salvador is kind of like
Up and coming.
up and coming, I would say,
Right,
for
right.
tourism.
Right, right. And something that shouldn't be slept on.
Yeah.
see a lot of outdoor activities you can do that aren't the beach. Ruta de las Flores, you can drive through and see this beautiful nature and stop at all these little villages along the way. They're really colorful, really nice. You can go hiking in the volcanoes. Make sure you have kind of a guide or escort with you when you do that, hike in the volcanoes and stuff. So that's nice. Oh, a don't for you on that is don't forget to bring a sturdy pair of shoes if you're going to do some of the hiking. Because I know most of our here are on for the beach, and so we're here with our flip-flops. Well, your flip-flops are not going to work when you're hiking up the volcanoes and stuff like that. Another good thing you can do, this is one of our fans, a lot of our fans told us to go to Lake Cotopeque, and there it's a lake that's inside a volcano. Yes, and there's all kinds of bars and restaurants there. You can take jet skis out there. You can go see the President's Island if you like, that's in the middle of it. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. And I mean, you can go to some of the indigenous populations land and check that out with some of the history. Yes, you can go to San Salvador, see the museums there in the cathedral. I like the town of Santa Ana. You go there, the cathedral there in Santa Ana is just gorgeous. You go in the theater, all kinds of stuff. It's really, really nice. And what's great about all of this, my next one for you, is don't worry, El Salvador is not gonna break your budget. It is really cheap to visit here in terms of staying in accommodation, getting around, eating and stuff like that. Plane tickets, not so cheap, but once you're here, it is a super, super affordable, cheap place to come visit. So some of you might want to check out, hence why there's a lot of surfers that come here to enjoy these great waves at low prices. Now, my next...
Okay, so two parts there. One, that's a lot of fun stuff that he just listed off there, like that lake inside the volcano.
Oh, that's awesome.
A lot of the cathedral, things like that, and cheap going, like being there. And in fact, a couple weeks ago when we was talking about this, I just pulled up Skyscanner and saw a lot of good deals from like Washington DC to say San Salvador for like 200 round trip, which I mean isn't terrible.
It's not terrible,
right? I mean, there's it could be a lot better, but still, that considering, I'd say that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Don't actually goes along with those prices, and that is don't forget to bring US dollars. El Salvador, the official currency is the US dollars, so you're paying in dollars when you're here, okay? And since the prices are low, make sure you're bringing a lot of singles, a lot of $5 bills, $10 bills, maybe $20 bills. Don't bring the hundreds and 50s because a lot of places they won't have the change for it, so have the smaller bills. You know, we brought a few $100s with us, and a lot of places do take cards, so we have been paying with that in certain places too. But when you're going to be going to, you know, you want to buy a little snack here, you want to get some horchata. Oh, the horchata here is fantastic. It's even sweeter than the Mexican horchata. You have all these things. Having a cash really goes a long way, and it's US dollars. And with those dollars, another thing I should say is when you go out to eat, don't forget to tip. You tip about 10% at the restaurants. Just get the cash on the side and you're good to go. And speaking of good to go.
Oh, okay. That's another thing that'll open it up for gringos like myself. Is the US dollar and
tipping culture.
10%. So that's not as big of a transition.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my next don't for you is don't throw the toilet paper into the toilet. You throw the toilet paper into the bin or the trash can next to the toilet. Just so you know, the pipes here can't handle a lot of toilet paper, so that goes there. And another don't I have for you when it comes to the toilets, don't forget to make sure you have toilet paper before you sit down. One, you might go to places that don't have toilet paper, or two, sometimes the toilet paper roll is actually outside the toilets, like where you wash your hands, and so you got to get your roll there when you go sit down. Just giving you the heads up. Another don't I...
Okay, so that's something similar to like Brazil or the Philippines.
No, the Philippines,
you don't have the toilet paper next to it, or you don't put the toilet paper in the toilet. You put it in a trash can. So I
should tell you what the water is. Don't drink the tap water. Get the purified water, bottled water. If you're staying at a hotel, I'm sure they have a restaurant, just ask them to fill you up. I mean, we brought our water bottle with us, and every time we needed something, we just asked them, boom, ice water to go from purified water. Definitely bring a water bottle, because my next don't for you is don't get dehydrated, okay? You want to make sure you're keeping hydrated with water. There's all kinds of great drinks here. You know, I mean, I talked about horchata already, but you get chan, which is basically like think slush puppy syrup mixed with water. There's that. You get the lemonade here, limonada con hierbas. It's lemonade with like herbs in it. Oh my God, that's my favorite thing to have here. But you do want to stay hydrated when you are here, so have a heads up. Because the sun here is really strong, and whether you're out in the volcanoes hiking, or you're in the lake, or you're the sun is really a big issue. So don't forget to bring that really good sunblock with a high SPF and a wide brim hat just to keep you, protected from that sun. Another don't is don't.
Okay. So, going back to the drinks for a second there's this restaurant chain called Cafe Rio. That's mostly like out west. There's a couple locations in Maryland and Virginia, and they have like drinks like horchata and mint limeade, and a couple of drinks that have been mentioned here remind me of those. So I'm gonna have to look up to see if Cafe Rio is actually like they say Mexican on there, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's like El Salvadorian or other Latin American countries.
Have you ever had Pollo Campero?
No,
They
I've never
started
had
popping up, so that's from there.
El
That's
Pollo
over here, yeah. That's from.
Is that the Peruvian chicken place or?
Yeah, it's like fried chicken though.
Okay.
It's like fried chicken, and
Yeah.
they started. Their chain is here, but it started there.
Got it.
So,
Got it. El Salvador. Okay, got it. So, that's just common sense right there. It's hot. Stay hydrated. Sunblock, hat, bug spray.
I wouldn't even get hotel tap water. I really wouldn't. I would stick with bottled water. Just go crazy. Have a budget yourself enough to buy the bottled water.
Right. And I've got a Brita thing. Like I've got this inside the Brita filter here. So would that work? Do you think?
Probably. I mean, you get use out of it. I would chuck it as soon as you're done traveling.
Yeah, chuck that filter thing and just maybe bring more filters.
Yeah.
One every 2 days, right?
Because when that thing stops working, you stop working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't forget to bring bug spray, bug bands, anti-bug bite afterwards stuff, because the bugs here, they're a real deal, okay? And you want to make sure you got the creams, you got the lotions, you got the sprays, because man, like our little one, the bugs just love the kid, and we're still putting it on. He's still getting some, so do be careful with that. So do bring the bug spray along with the sunblock and stuff like that. Now my next don't I have for you is, don't expect a super developed tourism infrastructure when you are here in El Salvador. Because of the history of violence and the Civil War, you haven't had a lot of tourists coming here for decades, okay? So they haven't had that development like you see in Costa Rica or Panama and stuff like that. So you need to make sure that you have patience when you're doing things, okay? Also, I would say is, don't be surprised if it takes some time to find accommodation, to find a guide and stuff like that. And the service in the restaurants or the service in the tourist hotels and things like that, it's not going to be probably what you're expecting if you're coming from Costa Rica or Cancun coming to El Salvador, okay? You got to have some patience. I think that would lead into a...
Okay, before that, that's something you were saying that like, again, this was made 3 years ago, so maybe they've made strides in El Salvador to
maybe
be tourism friendly.
But yeah, like infrastructure is new. It's new in El Salvador for tourism, like mass tourism.
Right.
You know,
Doesn't have like you mentioned, both Costa Rica and Panama, which are two places that we talked about, but then you started to be bullish on El Salvador. So
because I was just like, it's an untapped gem. It shares all the beaches, like all the same kind of feelings as all these other countries in Central America. It shares the same climate, which is like constant spring, and it's just there hasn't been a lot of Americans that flood to El Salvador. It hasn't happened. So they haven't had that influx of tourist money.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
Another thing I should tell you is, don't get in a hurry. Things take time here in El Salvador, whether it's getting started in the morning, getting your drink, taking your order, going to do stuff, getting back from your tour. Always give yourself extra time, because things happen, okay? And sometimes that thing happening is, hey, we're just talking to each other and we lose track of time. These things happen. But I've seen the couple of tourists I've seen here, some of them weren't prepared for hey, calm down, man. We're here in Central America. We've got the sun and the sea. What more do you need? Here's a cold, here's a cold golden just chill, relax. You really have to have patience when you are here, so don't get in a hurry. And the thing is, though you might get upset a little bit about the service, I haven't had any problems. The people still have been really nice with us. And the thing I think I should mention to you, because a lot of times when people come to Central and South America, they always feel that, hey, people are going to try to rip me off because we're tourists, so I'm going to negotiate. Here in El Salvador, they're probably not going to rip you off. The price they give you, the price you're going to pay, you do not have much negotiation here, so don't look like a jerk and try to negotiate with the grandma who's selling her little trinkets. Probably the price she's offering you is the legit price, so just have that. And if there's a price tag, that is the actual price, okay? So have a heads up for that one. And my last note for you might have to do with more when you don't want to come, because I would say this: don't really come for May, June, or July, because that's the rainy season. October is historically the windy season, but May, June, July, rain. I mean, it doesn't rain every day, but it rains enough that it might make it so your trip here isn't as wonderful as it should be. So maybe visit the other 9 months out of the year and you could have a great time. Now, another don't I need to tell you is when you're going to be flying into San Salvador from the US or other places, you're going to probably have to pay a $12 kind of tourist, not visa, but a tourist card thing. So make sure you have $12 cash for adults, because you get in, you just pay them straight away. They put a sticker in your passport and you're good to go. I mean, it doesn't take much time at all, but just have the cash with you so you're good to go. Kids did not have to pay it, but we did. So just want to have a heads up for that one. So don't forget. So I hope this helps you get a better idea of what you don't do, or actually what you do. I just say it in a funny way. When you do come here to El Salvador, we've had a great time. We hope you have a great time too. I want to say thank you to all of our fans from El Salvador, who are their families from El Salvador. They gave us all kinds of great tips, from the things to eat, the place to go. You've all been wonderful. Alex, your aunt was awesome too. Everybody, thank you so much out there. We wish you all the best, and we'll say adios from here in El Salvador.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of other good videos here too. I'll check them out on my own time.
I feel like, you know what, man, you're walking on sort of uncharted territory when you go there, and that's exciting.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
It's just because you're carving a path. You're more videos like this to come out of this place and encourage tourism.
Yeah, 100%.
Which boosts the local economy, which makes them hopefully wisely reinvest in upgrades and in things. And like I said, this was 3 years ago, so it could be a lot can change in 3 years.
Yeah, and I hope that I have the opportunity to do that very soon. If you want to expedite that, watching my channel, Spencer Joyce's World, is linked down in the description. That's going to be my main travel channel in 2025 and beyond. So I would love to do it. So let us go to that channel and subscribe. I'll put a video of that at the end. And anybody from El Salvador, please let us know anything he missed, what he got right, what he got wrong, anything you like to add.
And what's changed? If you are from El Salvador and currently in El Salvador, or have recently vacationed in El Salvador, what's changed in 3 years? Yeah.
Appreciate those comments in advance. And in the meantime, subscribe, watch some more videos. Thanks, channel members. And what now, Dan?
Unplug and do something legendary.
And we'll see y'all in the next one.
Later, guys.